Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Politics Today. This is yours truly, number one unofficial interpreter for everybody. We are mourning for the green, white, and green. Ladies and gentlemen, what you are seeing on your screen is the Presidential Election Petition Court result or judgment on the petitions brought before it by the Labour Party and the People's candidate, His Excellency Peter Gregory Obi, and yours truly, Atiku Abubakar Waziri Adamawa and PDP against INEC and the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, His Excellency Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his running mate Kashim Shettima, sorry. I say this is a morning time for us because, as you can see on the screen right there, the watermark or the letterhead of this judgment states clearly Tinubu Presidential Legal Team, TPLT. So anybody who is sensible will just stop. So far, there are 780 something pages of this document, but every sensible person will stop on page 1. I will not bore you with the rest of the document. If the judgment between you and an opponent was written by your opponent, you should not spend time reading page 2. So I will not bore you with the subsequent pages. I will just click through quickly so you can see there are pages, but we're not going to be reading anything from inside because we can tell if the judgment was written by your opponent. There's nothing really there's no way for you to hope for something transparent, equitable, justifiable to be found in that document. I know many Nigerians, because of whatever reason, bragging rights, tribalism, myopicness, Stockholm syndrome, whatever you call it, might be inspiring them to say, we win, you lose. But all of us have lost. That's why we are mourning for democracy. We are mourning for green, white, green. You can see the justices Haruna Simon Tamani, Stephen Jonah Ada, Misitura Omodere, Bolaji Yusuf, Bolo Kuroma Moses Ugo, Abba Bello Mohammed. You can see all their names and they are called Justice. Court of Appeal, they are all justices. Let's observe some moment of silence for the death of Lady Justice and for justice itself. Now, if you watched the judgment, and I did not spend more than 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, watching it, I joined live, but I didn't spend more than 10 minutes because right away from the onset, the way the gentleman was reading whatever he was reading, he was betraying a lot of things. Number one, he did not believe in what he was reading out. Number two, he didn't write it himself. Number three, he was trying to convince himself that he should continue doing it. You could see he was struggling to go through. Number four, he doesn't know English language and therefore was trying to make it up or make it out. But that was before we saw this copy, and we can confirm, number one, he was trying to convince himself. Number two, he didn't write it himself. Number three, struggling with his conscience, thinking, is this how I go down in history as a justice? Is this how I go down? You might have done a lot of things in the past, good or bad, but is this the final nail? Because it's not even the judgment. Remember, I'm not talking about the judgment, whether it's favorable or not, because it doesn't really matter to me. What matters is that the will of the Nigerian people prevails, whether my candidate or not my candidate wins. What matters in democracy is that the majority will have their way. And so it doesn't matter who won or who didn't win. It matters that the right thing is done and the majority has their way. But when you're writing a judgment and you when you're reading a judgment that you're supposed to be a justice over, that you're supposed to preside over, but you didn't actually write it, doesn't matter the good that you've done in the past or the bad that you've done in the past, this is the final nail that seals the coffin for us. We mourn for justice, we mourn for Nigeria, we mourn for green, white, green, we mourn for democracy in the largest black nation on earth. My heart aches. My heart aches. So when you're reading this, or as you've read this out, your children, your children's children, posterity, and the college or the university where they study corruption, they will have these as case studies. Generations unborn will read this. All those people, anything that we heard Wike over the phone threatening people, if they don't do this or do that, they will be dead. They'll be carried out dead from his state and so on and so forth. All those pale in comparison to this final nail that seals the coffin. All those things you see them grandstanding, forcing people to change their votes, telling people not to even show up to vote if they're not going to vote certain ways, all of them pale in comparison. All those things that we saw Mahmoud Yakubu do pale in comparison to what we are looking at right now. If you know you are going to just tell the accused to write the report, why waste our time going to court? Same question I had for Yakubu. If you know you are going to make up the result and announce it at 4 a.m., why mobilize people to go out and vote? Why burn down places? Why let people travel to and fro, standing in line to get their PVCs? Why spend 300 billion to conduct the election? Why didn't you just do what Nnamdi Kanu already said, that INEC will determine who is the president, not the people? Why didn't you just tell us that this is the person you've chosen? I will know we were practicing anecocracy. Anecocracy is where INEC determines who rules the people. So we are running anecocracy. So we don't really need to waste our money buying forms, sharing money during the primaries, making the dollar scarce unnecessarily. If you know you are going to write the result, why don't you just make it up from beginning? Save us 300 billion, save us time, save the lives of those that were killed. Why didn't you just do that? Why all this acting, pretending to honor democracy? Why? Why are we practicing first across the line ocracy or the highest money bagocracy or inecocracy, and we call it democracy? I don't even want to talk about the West that welcome you guys when you do this to their countries. They know they will not do it in their countries. They know. I've been in different Western countries. They will not allow this in their countries. Even if you are their president, they will drag you. They will drag you. One president in Canada, a prime minister, Paul Martin, he was removed in 2004 or 5. He was removed just because he took small bribe. Small bribe. They dumped him like hot potato. Look at the United States of America. President Donald Trump is being dragged as an almost like an ordinary citizen from court to court, from Georgia to New York, everywhere, because he simply said people should march. He didn't even march with them. And he's being dragged from place to place. He placed a phone call telling Georgia to do him a favor. He placed a phone call to 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 Ukraine asking for a favor, and he's being dragged and impeached. The West will not tolerate this. Look at look across to France. The president or prime minister, he goes somewhere, someone throws shoe at him. Look at the UK. Somebody couldn't hold the economy just a little bit. She was dumped like hot potato and she was replaced. They will not tolerate this, but they let you do that. Don't you guys even think and say, why is it that these guys will not tolerate these kind of things in their country, but they tolerate us? They let us do that in our countries. Let me tell you guys, as you displace your people and destabilize your people, the best of the best will flee to these countries and help them build their economies. That's why in the UK, in France, in the US, you have Nigerians who are running the show all over the place, in Canada, all over the world, contributing to the economy, even in their government. Because in the West, they don't care your tribe. If you can do it, they let you do it. They don't care who's your mom. They don't care if you know anybody. They don't care if you have money. If you can do it, they let you do it. If you can do anything, if you can run very well, if you can play soccer very well, US will give you citizenship right now to play for them tomorrow. UK will do the same. Canada will do the same. The West will do that. They don't care. Nobody will ask you, who's your mom? What tribe were you from? They don't care. If you can't do it, they will take you. Why don't you guys think? Why have you murdered democracy? Why have you murdered everything that we hoped for? And if you know me, you know I am hopelessly optimistic. I still hope for a better tomorrow. I hope that I know that all things work together for good to them that love God. I know that. I also know that when the righteous prospers, the people rejoices, but when the wicked perish, there are shouts of joy. I know that. I know that weeping may endure for a night, joy comes in the morning. I know that. I know it's not going to be like this forever. I know that. I know that all of us are going to die. I know that. What matters is what you do in your lifetime. What you do in your lifetime with your life. We will remember you. We will remember September 6th, 2023 forever. We will remember that. We will remember Samani. We will remember Ada. We will remember Bola Yusuf. We will remember Ugo. We will remember Muhammad. We will remember Wike. We will remember. We will remember the guy in Lagos INEC office Tipaxing results. We will remember. We will remember all of you. We will remember Professor Yusuf, Professor Mahmoud. We will remember you. We will remember. We will remember that we paid for fuel 210 naira, 205 naira, 198 naira on May 27th and on May 28th and on May 29th. We will remember we paid 500 on May 30th. We remember we're paying 600 plus today. We remember we're paying 700 plus in other places today. May was just 3 months ago. 3 months and some days ago, May 29th. We will remember. We remember that on May 29th, $1 was exchanging for 496 naira. We will remember that today it is exchanging for 920 naira. We will remember that. And there are those who will say anything, abuse me, abuse others. They say obedience, they are rascals, they are radicals, but then they call them obedience. You call them names, and then you expect that they will return it with the obedience are not P2B. P2B will call you, oh, my respected elder brother, but he will not take the nonsense. But the obedience, many of them are not like P2B. They will call you name back. They will give it to you the way you give it to them, Basbos. They don't take it. I won't call anybody names, but I understand where they're coming from. Look at all of us. Some people are calling obedience. They are following sheepishly and all kinds of things they were saying. They will never win. They will labor in vain. After they say that, they will start posting and asking for arms. Please help me. I'm suffering. Why are you suffering? My 30 naira, my 30,000 naira take home salary cannot even take me anywhere. Who is to blame for that? Who's to blame? I watched something someone said from Cameroon. He said the people that voted against Labour Party, they were not thin air. Where were they? When the results were being counted from polling station to polling station, you see the people chanting and counting and shouting and celebrating as the results were being counted at the polling unit. The polling unit's results are what makes it onto the the ward level and onto the state level and onto the federal. How come nobody was cheering for other people because their numbers were so small? But at the end of the day, you are accusing those people that were cheering, and you could hear this other party will get 10, another party will get 20, another one will get hundreds of votes. How come the one that got hundreds of votes, they didn't even win in places that they actually want? How come the opposing parties know that in Lagos, for instance, that APC got 100 plus thousand votes, PDP got 100 plus thousand votes, Labour Party got nearly 1 million votes? How come it was reduced to almost 50-50 Labour Party and APC? How come the results in Plateau that the party agents and the situation rooms were reporting from all parties, how come it wasn't the same reported by INEC? And there was one judgment that really blew my mind. I'm going to talk about two judgments. Again, I won't take you through this because it was obviously you know who wrote it. Before this result, this judgment were announced, they try their old tricks. They say it's going to be 16th. They say it's going to be 21st. They try to see how the people will feel to gauge them. And then they collaborated or connive with some people to say we're going to have seat at home. They say the military is going to be on the street. They try to threaten people. And then they say it's going to be on the 6th. They announce it on the 6th. But before that, people said that though Tifa Sola was writing the results with his people, and he came out to threaten some people, I'm going to sue you guys. I'm not writing any result, blah, 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 blah. But we know that as it looks like, it quacks like a dog, it walks like a dog, it sure walks like it sure quacks like it. It might be a dog because as you can see, even if Doti Fashola say he didn't write it, we can see it was from the legal team. And you could see from when on Bekun was presenting the way he was talking, you could see that they already know the outcome of these things. You could see they will concede some things, and what you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? You know. So I'll talk about two things. Number one, they say that, well, the 25% is no longer a requirement. Or, sorry, 25% in Abuja, that Abuja does not enjoy any special status. I don't care that this is going to favor you right now. But let's just tell the truth. Let's just tell the truth. If the 25% in Abuja is not a requirement, why was there a precedence in the Supreme Court when they were challenging Obasanjo and they gave him judgment saying he doesn't have to win, he just needs to get 25%? Why do you have that precedence? We are looking on the Supreme Court right now if they're going to toe the same line. And Supreme Court, please let me just take a segue here. If you're going to take the results written, if you're going to take the side of the PEPC, please write it yourself. Please write it yourself. At least when you commit that crime, commit it by yourself. If you're going to commit that crime, allegedly, everything I'm saying here is allegedly. Allegedly. Okay? Don't sue me. If you sue me, I'm going to tell it is allegedly. So don't waste your time. I'm saying allegedly. Okay? If what I'm looking at is true, as alleged, then please don't let them write for you. Write it by yourself. Hit your chest and commit the crime by yourself. But you have a precedence in Obasanjo's case where you told him, Supreme Court, I'm talking to you right now, you told Obasanjo that you told Buhari that Obasanjo doesn't have to win in FCT, that he needs to get just at least 25%. But the PEPC has said that it is not necessary, that Abuja is just another state. Nigeria, please, let's have a constitutional conference and let us change our constitution, because in section 2 of your constitution, you say that there shall be 36 states in the country. Namely, you start listing all of them from Adamawa to Zamfara, and there's no way you mentioned Abuja or FCT. Please change that to 37 states. Go to your section 137, 134, subsection 1 and 2, and please remove an FCT there. Just say all the states in the federation, or 2/3 of the 37 states in the country. Go to section 199 and remove that without prejudice to other sections of this constitution, that this place is only so that the Abuja will be treated as a state only, so that the president can function as a governor of Abuja, the vice president as deputy governor of Abuja, the House of Representatives as the House of Assembly in Abuja, in fact, the Senate and House of Representatives to function as House of Assembly in Abuja, all the federal courts in Abuja to function as courts in the states of the federation. Please remove that and just establish state courts in Abuja. Remove the requirement that Abuja will produce only one senatorial seat, please, and just give them 3 senatorial seats as other places. Please give them more House of Assembly, House of Representative members, please, as other states, and also allow them to have their own House of Assembly members. Thank you. And while at that, please give them their governorship election. They need a governor. Don't think it is impossible. Before 1994 or so, before 1991, before we moved our capital from Lagos to Abuja, Lagos used to be the capital of the country, but also function as a state on its own. So don't act as if we don't know how to have a state that is also the capital of the nation. We know that. And at that time, Lagos had a governor. At that time, Lagos had House of Assembly members. At that time, Lagos have senators as other places. So we know how it worked. So don't gaslight us. Don't make us think that we're confused and we don't know what we're doing. We know many people. I saw a video where the Chief Justice was asked the meaning of technicality in law, and he was talking about technology, and I was crying. I said to the guy who posted it, "Is this a skit, or are you telling the truth that this is the Chief Justice?" God forbid that you have a case in such a country. I'm trying not to use some words. I'll play you a video. A young guy has made a statement, and I think it is important that we see what other people are saying concerning this, not just what I have to say. So we're gonna go and watch this video. This is amazing. Just listen to this
in our
human.
states. which in a clear terms, we cannot supposed to be minister.
Let's start from the beginning, please.
Now, tribunal, they don't make us understand, say, FCT now, na state, which in a clear terms, we cannot supposed to be minister of FCT. The people of FCT, the indigene of FCT, they need to look for somebody who will be their governor now. Because as it stands now, FCT is also a state. You know, when they twist the law, they find way where you want to twist the law, make you take favor, whoever way don't pay you off. You don't go know when you shoot yourself for leg. So now, FCT now is the state, which means they also need to have their own governor, not Wike as a minister.
Okay, I didn't say that. He said that. All right, so I said I was going to flip through this document so you can just see the watermark, or if you like, the heading or the header of the document. So look at the headers all through. So this tells you who actually wrote the document. You can see the header of this document, Tinubu Presidential Legal Team. This is the country. This is the country. I'm not going to waste your time to read any of this, to be frank, because if the judgment was written by your opponent, you might as well just know that you've lost. But both Atiku Abubakar, Waziri Adamawa, and P2B, His Excellencies, they are going to the Supreme Court to seek redress. And I think if I'm going to talk about technicality right now, because that Chief Justice doesn't know what the meaning of technicality. So let's talk about technicality. So based on technicality alone, this judgment should not stand because we are dealing with technicalities. Based on technicalities, this should not stand because there's a gross miscarriage of justice where the opponent has written the judgment. Full stop. On face value alone, you don't have to call witnesses. This is the certified true copy from the Presidential Election Petition Court. Based on the fact that they accepted written judgment from the accused or the defendant, they are disqualified to hold any office. And if anybody can tell me how to sue these guys, I will sue them. I will pay for it. And if Ozokome can help me to prosecute this, I will find a way to pay him. But if they can contact me, let us take these guys to court. Those 5 guys, my prayer is that they will not sit on any other bench on earth, not even a bench in their houses. They should sit on the floor or something else that is not called bench, because they have just told us they shouldn't. They are not allowed to sit on anything called bench. They should not even judge anything in their own family. If they can take written judgment from an opponent, from the accused, and put a stamp on it as certified true copy, they have just shown us they are incompetent and incapable of judging anything. Again, allegedly. I'm saying allegedly, if this document I'm looking at, that you are looking at, is true, then the guys who put their signatures on this document are not allowed to be anywhere where judgment will be had. They shouldn't even have their own self-judgment. People should be judging for them. They've lost every right. Maybe they need someone with power of attorney over them because they have shown they're incapable of any kind of judgment. You know, this is what they call being caught in your own craftiness. You were using a a header from the accused. You can't even see it in 800-page document. You couldn't even see and tell yourself, oh, you couldn't even tell yourself, guys, I'm not kidding. It's 800 plus page document. You couldn't even catch yourself and say, oh. So you just continue reading. Okay, this presentation shows 200, but the other document I opened was 800. So this shows 202. So in 202 slides, because I'm using a slide right now, in 202 slides, each of them, the header says Tinubu Presidential Legal Team. Again, it doesn't matter to me that Tinubu won. Sorry, that Tinubu was declared. It doesn't matter to me. It could have been Kwankwa, so I don't care. Even the list that I didn't even want to win, it could have been the person. I don't even care. What I cared was that the will of the people prevailed. Whoever the people voted for, that the person won. I'm not even in the. I'm not even advocating for equity and justice. Let this region progress. That's not even near anywhere in my estimation. Doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that the will of the people prevailed. And if this is the way it is, that an opponent or an accused, in fact, let me talk about one of the judgments. They say that the Labour Party and PTOB did not prove that there was illegality. They couldn't tell them the polling station. I listened to that and I wanted to cry. They didn't tell them the polling units or the polling stations where there was malpractice or where they got the blank result sheet. Obviously, it was written by the opponent, because if it was written by the tribunal judges, they should have written it differently. Because number one, everybody knows it is not the job of P2B or Labour Party or Atiku Abubakar or PDP to tell you where the blank result came from. That is the job of INEC, because INEC was co-joined in the case. INEC should prove where they got the blank sheets of paper from that they put certified true copy on. It is not P2B, it is not Atiku Abubakar, it is not Labour Party, it is not PDP, it is not NNPP, it is not APM, it's not any party, but INEC. INEC was approached to give results that they used to declare somebody. The onus, the responsibility is on INEC to say, this is the polling unit result of polling unit A, polling unit B, polling unit C. When you come to them and they give you blank sheets of paper and stamp it, it is not your responsibility. There was a precedence in judgment in this case. The onus lies on the person who produces the report or the subpoena document. The onus lies on him to prove that the content is what he said it is, not on the plaintiff. Sometimes I sound like I know this law more than some of you guys. Now, you shouldn't even read it. When you look at it and it's that way, don't read it out. It makes you look dumb. They call you learned colleague or learned people. But when you read things like that, it makes you look dumb. You know that if you come to me and say, give me your certificate from the school you attended, and I give you a plain sheet of paper, and you go and say, this guy doesn't have a result, the court will not say it is on you who brought the paper to prove where the plain sheet of paper came from. They will ask the guy who provided the plain sheet of paper, where did you get it from? You said you went to school. How come you have plain sheet of paper and it was certified true copy? Certified true copy of plain sheet of paper. And you are now looking at PDP and Labour Party, looking at Atiku, Waziri Adamawa, and P2B to prove to you that the plain sheet of paper was from polling unit 7. Are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? Oh, sorry. I take it back. You didn't write it. It was written for you. And the fact that Olali Ekun or Doti Fashola or whoever that was, responsible for writing this, the fact that they will write that without shame, they don't even know how to lie. You lie to the point that your lie is catching you. In fact, the devil, the core father of all lies, will be Watching these guys, I'm marveling. If devil will go to hell, or he's already in hell, but he's wondering, these guys are teaching me work. You guys are teaching the devil work. Because he didn't even, children always be greater than their parents. I think this is the case. Devil will be like proud that he has raised children that are, you know, greater than him. The devil will really be proud. And that is why, even though, and I'm going to segue right here because we have a very religious people, very superstitious people, but we have the most corrupt people on earth, the most fantastically corrupt people. And it's not a contradiction. Don't get me wrong. Where sin abound, grace much more abounds. Don't get me wrong. God will do everything it will take to save the people. It is just normal. The only reason Jesus came was because the earth was lost. So where there's lost people, there's more grace available for them. But let me tell you, we claim to have a lot of GOs, a lot of churches, a lot of Christian people, and other religions too. But let me just concentrate on Christians. We have a lot of Christian people in Nigeria. John the Baptist says, bear fruit that shows repentance. We have to do things that show that we actually call God. The Apostle Paul says, let everyone that names the name of the Lord depart from iniquity. Start reducing this level of criminality. All those GOs, all those men that marched against Jonathan, you have two options right now. Number one is to come out and march against this injustice, this criminality. You have to come out and march. But you might be afraid for your lives because you know that Jonathan was a human being who wouldn't want the blood of anyone on him. But you know that some other people are not so much, they don't so much care about your lives. They will shoot at you, they will call the army to stand and shoot at you. So you will not come out to march. So if that is the case and you're afraid for your lives, maybe for your family's sake, I understand. Therefore, take second option. Go to Jonathan secretly or openly and apologize for degrading the guy, for attacking him for nothing. You have two options. You either match equally, even more now, because in the time of Jonathan, it was just that the price of oil went to 250, price of fuel went to 250 naira per liter. And you guys were on the street, on the pulpit, calling him all kinds of names. Some even said he's bad joya. Some of you guys said all kinds of things against him. And now you can speak. And even when you speak, one day you go the next day to take it back because you are free for your lives. And since you're cowards, do another cowardly thing, which is more honorable than keeping quiet. Go to Jonathan and say, I am sorry. Or make it a little bit bold and do it publicly. Publish a paper and say, Jonathan, I am sorry. Put it in the dailies. Take an advert page, an advertorial, and call it Apologies to Jonathan and his administration, and apologize to him and the Nigerian people. And don't even mention this administration on the immediate past one so that nobody comes after you. So if you take that second option, maybe, just maybe, your conscience will begin to feel a little bit better. Because look at what your people are going through, especially those in churches, the pastors, the general overseers, especially those of you in church. Your people are suffering. Your offering is the offerings they give to you is suffering right now. For those that collect tithe, they are very lean right now. You know that many people are losing their jobs. Many people don't even have enough to pay their house rent or to eat. So you feel it firsthand. You can deceive yourself. Many of you can speak spiritual language and say you operate heavenly economies. I know that. I speak that language too. I'm sure you would have picked it up. But that's no replacement for hard work and dedication and for caring for the people. That's not a replacement for that. There's no replacement for labor. Anybody who should not work should not eat. Anybody who will not work should not eat. There's no replacement for that. There are times for manna to fall from heaven, but there are times for manna to cease and you go to the field and you till the ground. So don't deceive yourself. Don't hide behind the pulpit because someone from your village or your brother is in power. Anybody who keeps silence today in the face of injustice, a day will come when you will cry out for justice and everyone will keep silent. That's not my own statement. I'm just quoting people, paraphrasing people. Martin Luther King once said, and I paraphrase, an injustice to one is an injustice to all. So don't think that because it is not affecting you today, it doesn't matter. Don't be King Hezekiah. King Hezekiah, if you know the Bible, when he was sick, in other words, when it was affecting him, Isaiah came to him and said, "You're going to die." When Isaiah left, he turned to God and cried and prayed and said, "God, please have mercy." At that time, he had no child. He had no son. He had no child at all. Isaiah said to him, Isaiah went out and came back and said to him, "You will live for 15 more years. 15 years has been added to your life." When he recovered, Isaiah told him what to do to recover. He took a fig leaf and made an ointment, put on himself, and he recovered from his sore, from his boil, from his sickness. When he recovered, people came visiting from Iraq or from Babylon. He he showed them the treasures of his house and the treasures of the house of God. And Isaiah came back and said, "Who are those that came visiting?" This is in Isaiah chapter 38. He says it was the people from Iraq that came visiting. And he said to him, "What did you show them?" He said, "I showed them the treasures of the house, my house and the house of God." And Isaiah said to him, "Because you've done this, a time will come when these same people shall invade and take away even your children that you give birth to." He had no child. They will take away your children. They will take away this temple, everything inside it, and they will take your people, some of your children, into slavery. This same Hezekiah, who went into mountain of fire and miracles prayer mode, or the NSPPD prayer mode. Nothing, what God cannot do does not exist prayer mode. That went into those modes when he was confronted with his own reality. He all of a sudden turned around and went into the NIMBY mode, not in my backyard mode. And he said, "It doesn't matter. As long as there shall be peace and truth in my time, it doesn't matter what happens 15 years from now." And true to it, a year later, he had a son. 15 years later, when he died, his son was 14 years old, and his son took over and became president or king in his place. But you know the rest of the story. You know how they were carried over to captivity in Babylon. This is what happens when you keep quiet when you're supposed to do something. You know how they suffered in captivity. In fact, Jeremiah tells us that they were going to be there for 70 years. He could have just prayed and averted that. He could have said, "I'm sorry." He could have spoken up. And that's why I'm speaking up. Speaking up. And I'm speaking up with the mindset of Ajeku Yanoje, because it doesn't matter. You guys can say anything or do anything. But I will not let you guys shut me up, because you cannot touch my soul or my spirit. This injustice that is happening in the nation, and these people the people of the books, I'm addressing you guys right now, the people of the books, speak up. And if you can't because you are coward and afraid, and I don't even want to tell you about Revelation chapter 1 verse 8 that describes the state of the cowards. I won't tell you that because you already know that. But if you're cowards, just put a call to Jonathan. If you don't have his number, or if you want to do even a more noble thing, take an advertorial. Call Arise News, call channels, call any of the TV stations, call WC station, AIT, call any of them and apologize to Jonathan. If you don't have access to any of these, go on X, on Twitter, go on Facebook, go on any social media, go on YouTube and say it. And once people see it, will go viral. We will know that you guys have apologized. Maybe your conscience will begin to find a way to accept that, you know, maybe accept that you can forgive yourself and move on. I don't know what else to say. Ladies and gentlemen, we mourn for green, white, green. Pray that you do not enter into any problem in Nigeria that will require you to go to the courts. Pray, pray, pray. Because when you do, the guy who has more money has already won. You can use money to buy justice. You know, when you hear money answers all things, they were referring to Nigeria. This is a country where somebody will come to Congress and say, Monkey carried away hundreds of millions of naira. This is a country where people will come out and say that snake swallowed millions of naira. This is a country where people will come and act and fall asleep or fall like they are sick and the Congress, and that will be end of it. This is a country where somebody comes to answer Congress and begins to tell his truth, and he's told by the same people that called him to testify to shut up, to off his mic, and he'll be fine. This is the same country where the Senate president will tell people that you're receiving tokens in your accounts and change it to you're receiving prayers in your mailbox or your inbox, and it will just be normal. People just move on. This is a country where one guy has so much, he's the richest in his own community, meanwhile, every other person is poor. This is a country where people are running you off the street. You can't own your car. You have to do proof of ownership for your car every year. A car you haven't sold. There hasn't been a change of ownership. You haven't sold the car. And every year you have to do proof of ownership. And you pay some money to show proof of ownership. If I prove it today that I own it and I haven't sold it and it hasn't changed ownership, why do I have to do it every year? This is a country that has a state in which if you park your car in your compound, you pay for parking your, not a public parking place, your car in your compound that you already paid money to prove that you own every year. You still pay money to park it in your house. And these guys will send their kids out. So for the rest of us who couldn't send our children out of the country, or the rest of us who couldn't travel out of the country, that's our business. But they will send their children out to the West to go to school and see how things are done. And when they go to the West, especially in the UK, they will be taking train and public transportation like every other person, like the UK Prime Minister, like every other person in the UK. But when they come to Nigeria, they suppress and oppress us. Enough is enough. Again, ladies and gentlemen, on technicalities alone, this judgment is dead on arrival. This judgment is non grata, is dead on arrival. Nobody should even consider it one bit. If I will speak in legal terms, from the evidence before me, this judgment is null and void and of no effect. Full stop. We need to restart the PEPT trial. We need to restart it and fire all these men and put men of integrity, men like Gani Fawemi of old, men like Rotimi Williams of old, men like Justice Oputa of old. We need men who have integrity, not those that will sell their conscience and their birthright for a morsel of bread. Those that are being sending and to kind of give us soft landing, telling us that whatever the judgment is, we should accept it because they already know what they wrote. Maybe they were even part of the Do Ti Fa So La Ti Do tribunal judgment writing. Maybe, maybe, maybe. And but the beautiful thing is how their eyes were blind and make it easy for us. So easy, we didn't even have to look beyond page one. This is how Thank God. This is how God catches these guys in their own craftiness. We didn't even have to read the first line in the judgment. Nobody who should even spend time reading in the Presidential Election Petition Court. Don't even read that line. Just look at the heading or the header. The header is the first line on any document, and then the footer is the last line on any document. Just look at the header before the body. The header alone, some people call it watermark, but the header, if you use Word document, you will know what I mean. Just the header, just looking at the header of the document, that's all you need to see. And you will know the rest of the document is null and void and of no effect and should be discarded as such. Since these guys want people who are from other fields to teach them law, maybe that's what we will do. Nigerian people, we have suffered a lot. We have suffered a lot. Look, let me take another segue. Look at what happened in Gabon, in Burkina Faso. No, Burkina Faso, sorry, not Gabon, Burkina Faso. Look at what happened. The young man said to them that our people will no longer be dying, crossing ocean in treacherous conditions, crossing oceans to go overseas. No, you will be coming to our palaces. That's what he said to them. Look at what the guys, the revolutionary leaders in Niger did. They went from selling their uranium, God gifts and deposits on the ground for them. Nobody did anything to deserve it, but that's their lot. We know that in Acts of the Apostle, chapters 17, verse 26, that God has mapped out boundaries and regions and times for everybody. And in such a time as this, He has determined that the people of Niger will live in that particular place, in that particular continent at this particular time. And He has placed things on the ground to take care of them, to be sufficient for them. He did the same thing in the Garden of Eden. He put enough resources on the earth to take care of the people He put there. And He does that in every nation, in every country. And He has something for each of them. In times like this, He has placed uranium beneath their feet, and that should take care of them. Nobody should be poor. As a good father, He made provision for all His children. They just have to look up to Him and seek Him, and He will show them that. And He has shown the people of Niger that there is uranium under your feet. You have no reason depending on Nigeria for electricity. You have no reason depending on the West for foreign aids. You have uranium under your feet. You can sell it for 200 euros per unit of measure. But they were getting 80 cents. 80 cents. Not 80 euros, 80 cents. The revolutionary leaders have changed that trend, and they have now said, you pay us 200 euros. Full stop. That's what they sell it in the open market. That's what you're going to pay to us. Why can't we do that? I'm not against anybody. Don't get me wrong. But oil, the price of oil is regulated globally. Why can't uranium be regulated globally? And everybody gets paid for what they contribute. Why can't that happen? Why can't France say, Niger, they are selling it at 200 euros per unit of measure in the global market. We're going to sell it the same from your side, but because we're the one taking it off and selling it, we keep 50, you keep 50%. Or we keep 75, you keep 25. Or we keep 25, you keep 70. And then they negotiate and come to an agreement, whatever works for them. Whether it is 80-20 or 20-80 or 30-70 or 70-30 or 50-50, whatever they agree on is what they agree on. But taking it at 80 cents, that's peanuts, like nothing, like less than a euro. So you're taking 299. So you're taking 199 euros and 20 cents, and they're taking only 80 cents. How do you even fathom that? So these guys have said enough is enough. We don't need foreign aids. We can just negotiate, just like the US and Canada. The US is much, much bigger, about 10 times bigger than Canada in terms of population. And the economy is also bigger, but they trade with respect. Just like US is much, much bigger than the UK. US has almost 100 million people, UK has only 66 million people, but they trade with respect across regions. Just like the US and Russia, very powerful nations, they all have nuclear weapons that can damage, that can do a lot of damage, let me put it that way. But they trade with respect in some areas, even though they claim to fight or they use other people to fight. They fight proxy wars in other places. In other words, two elephants are fighting and the grass is suffering somewhere. But still, they sell things to themselves out of mutual respect. If you remember a few years ago when Trump was president in the US, he was always after Xi and Xi was always after Trump. While they have all those fights, they were having trade businesses. You charge us import duties, we charge import duties. You charge us tax, we charge you tax. They still traded, even though they were frenemies. People could trade on equal footing and have respect for each other, even though they don't agree on everything. Why can't we do that in Africa? Why do we have to be, why do we have to appear as if we are beggars? Why? Why can't all of us benefit in the prosperity of everyone? And someone talked about, getting rid of even money and just having everybody share things equally. While I don't subscribe to that, because that would be extreme case of socialism, but at least you can see their point. Because if everybody can share, it's almost going to go back to trade by barter. You give us uranium, we give you technology. You give us this, we give you that. And also, another segue to Africans. You guys know about solar panel. Solar panel is made from silicon. Silicon is made from silicon dioxide. Silicon dioxide is from sansan. For those in Nigeria, you know what that means. Sansan. Sansan, silicon dioxide. So when you go to Bar Beach anytime and you look at those shiny sand, you look at the ones that reflect light a lot. Those ones are silicon dioxide. You can melt it under the right temperature and conditions. You can remove the oxide from it, get pure silicon, get silicon into to crystallize. You can get silicon wafers. From there, you can make transistors, ICs, solar panels, all kinds of electronics that you're looking at. This video right now is made possible by sand. Why can't we? And these technologies are open because they were invented several years back and those technologies were not very complicated. So why can't we have people in science and technology that can go into these areas and get these technologies working for our people so that we can have at least power, so people can light up their places without paying through their noses. School fees, another segue. School fees went from 25,000 to 200,000. How do you reconcile that? From before May 29th, school fees 25,000. After May 29th, school fees 200,000. Before May 29th, a liter of fuel 200 naira. After May 29th, a liter of fuel 600 naira. Before May 29th, minimum wage 30,000 naira per month. After May 29th, minimum wage 30,000 naira per month. How you survive? Before May 29th, your electricity tariff is so much. After May 29th, your electricity tariff is way much more. Before May 29th, to travel to your hometown, you can fill your tank with about 7,000 naira. Today, after May 29th, you can fill your tank with about 50,000 naira. How does that even work? Before May 29th, you can pay X amount in transportation. After May 29th, you have to pay so much more for your transportation. How does this even work? How do people eat and survive? We have been conditioned to live through this, and many people will challenge you when you speak up because they want their candidate to be there. But it's not even benefiting anybody. And many of us will pray hypocritical prayers, will say this administration will favor us. You know you are kidding. You know you are kidding. Right? Because even if he favors you and nobody else around you has something to eat, they will come for you. We just deceiving ourselves. And what do you benefit when everybody is suffering and you're the only one eating fat? Why can't everybody benefit from that prosperity? All right. It's been yours truly, number one unofficial interpreter for everyone. I intentionally spent time on this because these are things that bother me. These are things that I think affects all of us. We should stop being myopic and we should stop attacking people just because they have a different view than us. We should look at reality and the truth. Right. And again, allegedly, if this report, this alleged judgment is true, as said here, and I think it is true because I've seen it published on a daily. So if this be true, then we are in big trouble. We are in big trouble. I've seen this judgment published in a daily, and it was I think it's Radio Nigeria, not a daily, but Radio Nigeria dot gov. I'm going to send the link. So I'm thinking this might be true. Let me see if I can share this particular page, um, because this is heartbreaking. I'm going to put it in the comment. When this video goes live, I'm going to put it in the comment so that you can see what they are saying. And let me see if there's also a way to share the screen right now. Let me see. Is there a way to add? Um, Let me see if I can share it. Let me see. I'm gonna try to share it while I am here live, and so you can see with me what my eye is saying. All right, let's try. Haven't done this before, but let's see. All right, so yeah. All right, so I am sharing the screen right now. So as you can see, PEPC judgment. The presidential candidate of People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party have since rejected the judgment of the tribunal. So you can see that, and then this is where to download it. And when you come down here, you can see if I go, let's see if we can make this. Um, let's go to page one. So, or any page for that matter. Let me zoom it. You can see Tinubu Presidential Legal Team, PTPLT. And this is coming from Radio Nigeria. This is Radio Nigeria, the Radio Nigeria website. So um, I give up. I give up. I give up. I give up. So even though I keep saying allegedly because these guys can come after anybody. Yeah, this shows 798 pages. 798 pages. So I am going to I leave it to them and their consciences, right? Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, Africa's largest radio network with 6 zonal stations operating on short and medium wave bands and 2 operation centers. So this is actually, you can email them info@radionigeria.gov.ng. God help you what you get from them. But anyways, this is the station. This is from their station, right? That we downloaded this document. So you click on the download and you get a copy of that document. This is what they're sharing with the people. This is what they want us to believe is the result, the judgment. The judgment. This is what they want us to believe is the judgment. So ladies and gentlemen, please let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let's make this go viral. We don't make videos just for the sake of making videos. We make videos because we want to contribute to the discussion, and we want to make sure that the people, you know, the people are aware of what is happening. That's what we want to make sure. We want to make sure that the people are aware of what is happening in their own country. In their own country, we want to make sure that people are aware. And I want you to be very, very aware of what is going on. Right? Be aware. Be part of the conversation. Be part of this conversation. Don't just be a spectator. Be a participator. Don't think that today, because it doesn't affect you, it won't ever affect you. No, please don't be in that mode. Don't deceive yourself. Don't think, well, it is favoring me today. The people I like are in power, therefore, whatever. No, please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be a spectator in your own country. Don't let people make you cynical that you don't want to be part of the conversation anymore. No, you should never come to that point. So that's the judgment. That's the judgment written by the, you see here, certified true copy. You can download that. Download the certified true copy. And that is the certified true copy. Right here we're looking at. So don't let people make you cynical to the point that you don't even care what is happening in your country. Because that's what many of us have become. We become numb. We've come to the point where we don't really care anymore. Because people think that no matter what you do, they will always put whoever they want to be the president. Let's not get to that point. I was talking to someone a few weeks back, and he said to me, "Do you even think that if they do a rerun, they will allow so and so person to win?" I was so ashamed of myself. I didn't even know what to say. So it is about allowing someone to win, not even that. He didn't even say, like, "Do you think that the people will vote for the person?" No, this is, "Do you even think that they will allow so and so person to win?" I was so ashamed of myself because I thought this person was educated and I didn't even know what to say. Maybe the person is telling the truth based on the reading of the people, but if it was coming from his own mind, I was so ashamed. I have a guy who said to me, okay, I was on Mayogun show one time, and one guy commented that I am hopelessly optimistic, that I'm full of optimism, and that's the truth, because it doesn't matter the situation I find myself in. I always believe there's a way out. I always believe it's going to be better. It's going to get better. It's going to get well. Let us all believe. Let us all believe, so that even if these tribunals do whatever they do, they know. Thieves know. Don't get me wrong. When people snatch your car on the street, they know that they've snatched your car. When people steal from you, they know that they've stolen from you. It's not like they don't know. Their consciences are there with them. And whether they live long or short, whether their lives be long or short, they will regret what they've done. They might pretend, but the evil will be running when no one is chasing them. The wicked will be running when no one is chasing them. They know. So if they steal this and run around, like, they know that they are not excellent because the process that brought them is not excellent, right? They know. They know. And these guys know that they can't be trusted. Even the people they are trying to help today cannot trust them because they know who they are. They pander to the highest bidder, and that is not justice. So, ladies and gentlemen, yours truly, one more time, the unofficial interpreter for everyone. I'm going to be signing out right now, and I want you to share this video, like, comment, subscribe, and please don't despair. This is not the end. This is not the end. This is far from over. I say this is far from over. And as my other friend said, if this judgment stands, which it is not a judgment, obviously, it was written by the accused or the defendant. But if this stands, that means Abuja should be gearing up for election. And from my view, this is not alleged. This one is now from my view. My view is, if this is going to be allowed to stand, if this alleged document is allowed to stand, my view is, let's just conduct a constitutional conference where we write a constitution that works for us. We remove ambiguity from the verbiage in the constitution. Stop saying things like, without prejudice to any other section. How many people know what you're saying? Speak it in English. Say it in Pidgin English. Say it in Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba. Say it in Ijotiv, Efik, all the languages. Say it. There are 250 something languages or 400 languages. Say it in all those languages. Have those interpreted. Let the House vote for money. Let the Senate vote for money to translate this document in all the 400 languages so that everybody feels involved. You can keep your 3 or 4 official languages in English, Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. You can keep those, but do all of us a favor and translate it in the 400 or 500 languages of the ethnic nationalities that make up that country so that everyone who could read in their own dialect or their language can read and understand. Stop using words like without prejudice, because even your people in the legal profession don't know what technicality is. So don't speak those languages. Just tell us in simple terms. Tell us that to win in Abuja, you must get 25% of the votes. Full stop. B, you go get 25%. You go if they get if 100 people follow for the election, follow vote for the election, 25 of them must vote for you, go vote for you. Speak it like that. Don't tell us without prejudice. And if you think that Abuja is not a state, just say Abuja no be state. Oh, if Abuja is a state, just say we get 37 states, not be 26, not be 36. We get 37 states. Speak what we know, what we can understand. If you want to say without prejudice, in other words, this doesn't foreclose any other thing in the other place, say it in English or in pidgin English. This matter now for only this area I dey talk, oh, make you no carry am go put for another place. Now this matter now only for this subject when I dey talk now. So any other thing when I don't talk elsewhere, it go remain as I talk am there. But this matter now for only this matter I dey talk. Speak our language. Say what we will understand. Don't tell us things that you need to interpret. Then somebody will now be interpreting which and is conjunctive or disjunctive. What does that language mean? Say this and when I they put here, it means say you go get the first one, you go also get the second one. You write it like you write WAEC questions or JAM questions. Number 1 is mandatory. The rest of them, you can get what you can get anything. Put it like that. Say Abuja is mandatory, or say we not get compulsory question. No, you go just answer anyone where you like. If you just get 60%, you don't get 60%. Write it like that now, because most of the people that are voting are not legal people. We don't know what without what's it called without prejudice. We don't know what it is. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about we. We don't know what it is. Speak what we know. So this matter now for this election, it no matter how many people vote for you for any state. What matter be say you go get 60% to full stop. Whether they vote for you from Abuja or Aburi, it no matter. Whether they vote for you for Sokoto or Anambra or Sokoto, it no matter. As long say you get 25 people for every 100 people wey vote, now you say you don't win. No, write it like that. Do it before the election, and don't be like INEC, who went to Chatham House and everywhere and on the papers and everywhere on the internet, on the TV stations, telling us that beavers have come to stay. It is our innovation. We cannot go against ourselves after we have worked so hard. We've spent a lot of money. This is an internal development and internal technology. After they said all that before the election, even a day to the election, even people coming to like Kadiru or Kadira or so, Ahmed Kadira, all of them going on TV telling us a day to the election that look, you must get 25% in Abuja. It is and they stress the and so much. And when it was time for that to be observed, and one guy ran away with 69% or 60 something percent, and the rest of them shared the remaining, and nobody else got 25%. You don't see people coming to say that this end is and nobody's saying and anymore. Now they're saying is this end conjunctive or disjunctive? Does Abuja enjoy any special status? Yes, it does enjoy any special status. He didn't give you the governor. He didn't give you 3 senators. He didn't give you all the required House of Assembly members. And I'm going to end by playing this guy one more time because I think it is proper that we listen to him one more time. And I'll be signing out from here, ladies and gentlemen. Like, share, subscribe, comment, say whatever you want to say. You can scatter yarn. It doesn't really matter to me. We are just mourning democracy.
Not wiki. Tribunal. Now I do this one. Now, tribunal. They don't make us understand. Say FCT now states, which in a clear terms, we cannot suppose to be minister of FCT. The people of FCT, the indigene of FCT, they need to look for somebody who will be their governor now. Because as it stands now, FCT is also a state. You know, when they twist the law, they find way where you want to twist the law, make it favor whoever way don't pay you off. You don't go know when you shoot yourself for leg. So now FCT now is a state, which means they also need to have their own governor, not Wiki as a minister, not Wiki.